What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Not a Sheep podcast. My name's Narwhal. I'm here with my buddy Matt.
What's up, guys?
We're also joined by Levi Hinson and Channel 62.
What's good?
Thanks for joining us, guys. We're excited. This is our first time doing one of these episodes via Zoom, but hopefully this turns out pretty good. The way we like to start each episode is just by talking about what we've been listening to so that the people can kind of get a vibe of, what type of music you guys are into before we start diving into your own projects. So for me, just so you guys get an idea, I've found this guy named Mind Chatter who's been really good for helping me go to sleep recently, as well as Matt Mogg's single 20 that came out for his 20th birthday, and Justin Stone and Adrian Strezzo, who I know you guys are pretty familiar with, dropped a single called Always Me. So that's mainly it. Just been having a lot of songs on repeat recently. What about you, Matt?
I've been listening to my buddy showed me Odie's album from a couple years ago. It's super dope. And then I've also been listening to Pink Sweats and Beam, which is kind of all over the place, but they're all super dope.
Yeah, sweet. Levi, what about you?
I've been listening to Days with Dr. Yen Lo. It's an album by Ka. It's really good. I got A Doctor, Painter, and an Alchemist Walk Into a Bar by The Alchemist. It's a great record. And they just started playing on my phone. And a lot of my own stuff. Also James Blake. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I know I saw on your story the other day, Levi, you were saying something about how you weren't expecting to be dropping this much music this year. And you also have said you have a lot of projects in the works still. So I'm excited to kind of dive into that in a minute.
That's going to be fun.
But Andrew, what about you? What have you been listening to recently?
I've been listening to the new James Blake, the Tommy Revenge album, the Joji album. Heady One, a UK rapper, he just dropped his debut album. Well, but his big project. And I've been listening to, just in terms of rap, a lot of UK rap, Stormzy, Slow Tie, Skepta, a whole bunch of people like them.
Yeah, that's funny. That's kind of been similar with me. I never really knew too much about any UK rappers, but I just saw that. What's that album called you were just talking about?
Heady One, I think it's Edna.
Okay, yeah,
Edna.
Heady One. Yeah, so Edna. I'd heard a lot about him, but I didn't really know what it was, and I've just been in a huge UK rap phase right now. I'm loving it. But,
same.
They're so talented. I feel like, especially just in the US, a lot of people overlook them because I think we don't understand a lot of the references, at least for me.
They're on another level over there. There's one rapper, Aitch. He was on Stormzy's album. He's on the Heady One album. He did an EP that had some songs produced by Kenny, and they're all amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Light years ahead of what's going on over here.
Well, yeah, so we wanted to kind of dive in, and I'm excited that we have both of you guys here because Levi, you and Andrew have been working together for a while now, and I just wanted to kind of know your guys' history working together and how you guys got into working with each other and how you guys kind of collaborate with each other.
Oh, this is going to be such a fun story.
Should I start or should you start?
I think it'd be funnier if you started.
Okay, it'll be. So how I met Levi was I was a fan of his music. I found him through Upper Hand.
Oh, you're a fanboy.
We don't talk about it.
But I found him through that, and then I just kind of was following him. And when I started getting to making music, I would just troll Levi. It was in the lead up to Farewell Summer. He'd post something. I'd be in the comments saying whatever.
He was drop Astro World.
Yeah.
Shit like that. It was hilarious.
In the IG Live, I'd be coming in and just being a nuisance. And one day, he let me in and let me play some beats. And then
on IG Live?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he was like, okay, this is not just a weird kid.
He played shit and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of sick. So I went and checked it out for myself. Yeah. And I heard this one called
Are you thinking Harrisburg?
Yeah, on Harrisburg.
The Block?
The Block. The fucking Block, dude. The chop on that song is godly. So good. And I heard that and I was like, okay, I absolutely have to work with him.
And then there was one day where I just texted him 20 beats, and that's when On the Way and Spent were made for the middle of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there we just kept on working.
He's just weird enough for me. You know what I mean? The tastes are very similar.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's kind of what you need is someone who's going to kind of push the boundaries of what your style is and what you are familiar with.
Yeah, push you down a new avenue. You
especially because at the time I was still kind of in this weird in between thing where I wanted to do sort of indie hip hop like sort of like a bridge, like Farewell Summers, like
Oh, yeah,
what
yeah.
I was trying to do, and then I met you, and I was like, oh, like I can do like the weird lo-fi stuff now, like that's possible. I've seen how it's done, and like I have people that can help me make it, and so I started doing that, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, the Middle of the Moment, that was the first like project you guys worked on together?
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that summer we worked on that one, and we started Hinson 62.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So are you guys kind of now at a point where every project is kind of like you guys will work together on basically everything now?
Pretty much. I mean, like there's a lot of overlap in terms of our solo music. Like we do collaborate a lot, but also a lot of it is like done on our own.
Yeah.
Like Channel has a feature on Laughing Crying, and then my new one,
Yeah.
my solo one, and then production on this other thing that I'm doing, and then we have another record together.
Yeah.
So we're pretty involved.
You have a feature. He has a
Yeah.
feature on mine. Mastered
Yeah.
my album. So
Yeah. That's crazy. So you were saying, Levi, that you have like 5 different projects all kind of in the works right now. Do you ever feel like, do you get to a point where you're like kind of overwhelmed, or do you feel like you almost need that creativity? Like you need to have a bunch of different things that you can go to when you're not feeling inspired for like one project, you just go to the other one.
That's the thing, is like it's fun because I'll be like, damn, this shit sucks, so I can just switch to doing something else entirely different, like tap into a whole different thing, you know, until I'm ready to come back to it. But I don't know, I just like keeping a lot of stuff in the rotation. I think it's like fun because you can almost like outdo yourself and like watch it as you go, you know. It's a fun experience. I don't think overwhelmed is like a good word for it. I fucking love it.
And you don't seem to be the type of person who I feel like with a lot of artists in any creative field, they'll tend to, you know, work on a bunch of different things, but in a way they're just intentionally like not putting things out. So it's like, if I don't like this, instead of powering through, I'm just going to start another project. But you have seen like you've put out a ton of stuff this year.
And
so it seems like it's working for you, whatever
you're
doing.
It's not even like the tip of the iceberg. You know what I mean? Like this is all the stuff that I just felt cool kind of giving away. Like there's other me and Elijah, pop in, bro. Let me. This is this is my guy Elijah.
we found Elijah.
We did. He's been like the creative direction for a lot of different stuff that I've done this year. I finished an album and we did like a short film for it together.
Okay.
And we've had that in the
That's
tug for a little
awesome.
bit, and then we just got finished doing the videos for his album with
Yeah.
Elijah. So he's been like a super integral part of it. Go follow I Found Elijah, man.
That's
Yeah,
fire,
man.
yeah.
That's kind of the relationship with me and Matt is like,
I
I'm a videographer.
saw that you do like his videos, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think I'm a videographer and editor, so a lot of Matt's videos I'll film and edit, and I think it's just important to have people that are like in your circle that you connect with, that like,
Don't do the same thing as you.
yeah, and that they're
For
not
sure.
really in it for like the money at the beginning, because like at the beginning it's hard to
There is no money at the beginning.
yeah, there is no
Yeah.
money at the beginning, you know.
No, I mean that's what Sova's all about, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's like trusting each other enough to do big
Yeah,
stuff,
so-
like take the risk.
So that's actually a good transition. Is I wanted to ask you guys, well, Matt-
What would you explain what Camp Sova is?
Yeah. So Camp Sova is a creative group that is like part art collective, part group, part label. So it is me, Levi. We have 3 other artists on it: Nick Alexander, KJ Sturkey, and Mike Meraki. There's another producer named Youth, and then there's Jake and Jonathan, who are on the business end.
Gotcha.
awesome.
That's
Yeah,
fire.
so you guys have kind of been teasing it a lot on, or just promoting it a lot on Instagram, but I feel like I just haven't really got the full picture yet, so I'm excited to kind of talk to you guys about it. What's like is the ultimate goal just to kind of grow Camp Sova together as a group and just kind of have this be the label that everyone kind of represents? Like, do you want it to be like I don't know, like a lyrical lemonade type thing? Or like what exactly are you guys trying to make it into?
It's like Dreamville in a way. I feel like.
Okay.
That's a
I
good-
think that is a
Gotcha. Yeah,
solid comparison. But it's almost like it's like a label, but with like a bunch of arms, right? Like, I mean, that's how
Yeah.
I see it. Like it becomes more of a creative agency when you think about like winter camp.
Yeah,
A
like,
great example. It's this like event that we threw in December of last year. I think it was 30 artists.
21 artists. We
21.
had a house in Atlanta for a week, and it was just
Like pure creative.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right,
everyone
yeah.
working with each other. It was like a beautiful environment. So we're trying to do that like annually. And we have all these crazy artists coming out, but we're not like a rap group.
no.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just a label.
It's not Brockhampton.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That sounds similar to how Dreamville does that thing where they made like Revenge of the Dreamers, where they rented a
Exactly.
house
Yeah.
and just
I
have
think
a
the cool
bunch of
thing
creative
about it
minds.
is like it's totally open ended. Like there's never like an end goal. It's like let's like congregate,
Yeah.
get to know each other, and then like see who fits together and just make things and
we
exist.
had like one dude, he had set up his studio in the closet of this house, and he just spent the entire week locked in there like making EDM songs, and like
that's awesome.
2 or 3 people would poke their head in there and see what he was doing, but he was just cool doing his other thing. I know Levi had his space down in the basement of the house, and it was nice because, like Levi said, there was no goal or expectation. We weren't making the album together. We were just hanging out making music.
Yeah. And I think that's cool that this group isn't limited to just like rappers or whatever, because, you know, Levi, I've seen you tweet or like put on Instagram that, you know, your music has changed so much since you started making music that like who knows where your style or genre is going to be in just a few years from now even. So I don't know. I think it's cool because I feel like as an artist, you're always going to want to try and make different things and not make the same thing that you made like 3 years ago, you know?
Yeah, I think that's another great thing about Sova is like we have no plans to just make it like a hip hop thing or something like that. Like I want to sign like an ambient noise artist,
sure.
like a band, like would be so cool. Like
we want like
EDM,
someone like Skrillex and someone like the Lumineers. Like, why not? Let's just,
you know, like it's about the energy.
if the music's good,
Like
and
we're all on the same page.
yeah, the energy's right, then it fits.
That's fire. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I saw this quote the other day that was like, the best art is always made without the result in mind. So I feel like that's kind of dope when you guys, for the winter camp thing, it's like you're all coming together. It's not necessarily like the Dreamville thing where you're like, we're making an album, but you're all just like making dope art. And I think that's super dope.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that's where I finished Magnolia off of Laughing Crying. That's where we like made our first song in person together. But then like other people made whole albums together that week. It was sick. It was great.
What's it like for you, Levi? Like kind of what I touched on before, but like what's it like being an artist who's been making music since you were like so young? Like when did you start making songs and putting songs out there?
I started like recording songs when I was like 11 because my older
That's
brother
wild.
was a rapper and he had like a mic and studio setup and everything. So I would like engineer for him, and like he kind of put me on game. And then I got into like CHH, did all that other stuff. But it kind of sucks because once something's out there, like you kind of can't control like where it is. So a lot of my music from when I was like 14 is like still out on the internet, like very visible, like very easy to access, and it sucks.
And you just wish you could wipe it from existence.
Yeah, but it's like one, like I know there's people that have like an emotional attachment to it, like they enjoy that stuff. So I kind of feel bad taking it down. But it's in too many places now. Like it's just part of the whole thing. I don't know what to do. So it's like it's a bittersweet thing, but it's cool it's cool that people can see kind of where I came from.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
dope. Because I found you way back in the day when you were on the first project I think I found was Adrian's Senioritis, and you were featured on that. And that's what kind of opened me to like your guys' world and like following you, Caleb, Adrian, and then like I think it's dope because I've seen you grow so much as an artist and like what your music's about and like what the sound is, but it's just been cool to see how much you've progressed.
Yeah, it's been a wild journey, man, especially like going through so many like avenues of doing it, you know what I mean? Like CHH first, and then it's just been by myself, and now Camp Sova. Like there's a lot of changes, and I'm excited to see where it keeps going. It's been cool.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a sense of like when you were making music when you were younger and started growing a fan base, do you get people that like don't like that you're changing and like don't understand that like this music was made when I was a teenager, and like I'm like a totally different person now.
Fucking tell me about it. Like so many people were like, you suck now that you don't like Jesus anymore. You suck.
Oh, so you started as a Christian rapper?
Yeah,
That's what
man. Like
CHH
that was
is.
the
Christian
that was the
hip-hop.
whole thing.
Oh, okay. I obviously I wasn't familiar. Okay.
Yeah, that was like the big realm for me for a while, and then I had, grew up, thought different.
Did you have like a big moment that like I'm just curious. I mean, did you have a moment where you realized like this isn't really what I believe or what I want to represent anymore as an artist?
It was just some gradual like, this doesn't add up kind of stuff. Like just like having, like whenever you're young and you kind of start actually experiencing like how the world works, like just a little bit, you're like, some of this shit isn't matching up. Like, I don't like how this is. So it was kind of a gradual thing, but there have been a lot of people that have like stopped fucking with me over the years because of that transition. And then there's been a lot of people who are also like super down and like have been for a long time. Which is really cool. Like obviously, like I expected some people to walk, like I watched what happened when Ziv like left CHH and all that went down. Like it sucked for him. I hated it for him. But I don't know. It's been all right. I still have a lot of people that rock with me. So
How do you feel about other like Christian rap artists? Just like now that you're not part of the community, do you?
How do you feel about
I don't know
NF?
if I'm starting something here that I shouldn't be starting, but I'm just curious. Like,
I'm kidding about the NF thing.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
'em.
but like, do you ever like if you clearly used to be a fan of like that genre of hip hop, can you listen to artists like that anymore, or do you not like that genre anymore?
fuck no, dude. It's like it was like the I took the blinders off and I was like, yo, there's like so much better stuff the other way. Like the art over on this side is like nuts, so good.
Yeah.
And I regretted not having like tapped in for that long. I don't know. It's not like a big thing. Like y'all can go do CHH, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But it's not my genre of choice anymore, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. One thing I wanted to ask you about is the other week we posted a clip of the podcast where we said that we think one of John Bellion's albums was a top 5 album
Human
of the
Condition
last decade.
We
does
were
not-
being a little clickbaity.
Human
we were being a
Condition
little
does not slap
clickbaity.
like that.
You don't think it's amazing?
Wait.
Nah.
What were we saying about Human Condition? It's top 5.
Okay, top 5 albums of the last decade.
I don't fully believe that. I
do.
I think
Here's
it's a
the
great
thing.
album.
So here's the thing that the problem that we run into when calling it top 5 albums of the last decade. We run into My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy,
Blonde.
Igor. Because the internet.
Because
There's been so many
and that's
amazing
just
albums
rap.
that have come out. That's just rap.
that's
dude.
not counting
Yeah.
like EDM, rock, indie, like all these other things exist.
Sufjan Stevens.
James Blake.
Yeah.
Bon Iver, James. That's putting it up against all these. Yeah, all these other people. It's like, man, John Bellion's cool. I liked the one with Luxury on it. I thought that was a good album. But
I love John Bellion.
The Human Condition is not that fire.
Okay.
Okay. Listen, but at the end of the day, don't you think part of it comes down to like it's impossible to ever pick 5 when there's so many genres? Don't you
This
think
is
it's
true.
partly just
Fair.
up
This
to
is true.
whoever,
I just don't feel
whoever
like it-
you listen to?
I don't know. It's better than the last one he did.
You didn't like the last one?
Glory Sound Prep.
Jesus Christ,
It's
man.
it's great. I think that album has great songs, but it's not a good album.
Dude, the fucking like the
Okay.
animated promos that they did for it were so bad. With like
You didn't like
Stormzy
that?
is like the head counselor of like this animated school. I was like, man, you gotta stop. This is and then the album didn't even
don't like that?
conceptually tie into that. Like no part of the album had anything to do with that. I was like,
Oh, I
That's
see.
true, that's
so
true.
if you think it'd be cooler if like the promo and the visuals leading up to the album are somehow
is it like
I
I
think-
think well he
correlation to
presented it like a conceptual album and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening here.
I think Glory Sound Prep is basically John Bellion's like Camp Sova. Like it's like his collective group.
That is
I've heard him say
true.
that.
That's true.
That there is a
So I don't think it has to do with the album.
GSP is like a production trio consisting of John Bellion and 2 other guys.
Yeah, him and like Volta. But
Yeah.
this is kind of off topic, but have you guys heard the new Kanye song?
Yes, it's so good.
No,
it's
not.
so dope.
You like it?
It's not.
It's so dope.
It's weird.
Wait, are we talking about the one on Twitter?
Yeah, he put it
It's
out
out
on stream
now.
the
Boy,
other
we
night.
won't never know joke.
No,
Crazy.
No, it's bad.
Nah,
Dude,
nah.
I saw it on Twitter and I sent it to Matt. I was like, what is this?
I am.
Kanye is rapping about Star Wars.
He did the Anakin. I have the high. It was funny. It's just like I feel like with that song, and right now I'll hate it. 3 months from now, I'll think it's great.
That's common with Kanye.
That's how I felt about like the the poopity scoop thing, where it's like this is dumb, and then like 3 months later, I'm like, no, this is genius. This is amazing.
You thought that was genius?
No, I'm just. God.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Matt understands me.
Do you guys have any artists that you didn't really kind of get or didn't really like
You like
understand?
slept on super hard.
Yeah, you either slept on or you just like kind of thought they were trash or didn't really get what they were going for, and then once you realize like this is what they're trying to do, did you like they grew on you?
Yeah, Playboy Cardi.
Okay, in what way?
I hated Magnolia, or it's not Mag. What's the what's the one that made him big? Is it Magnolia?
Yeah.
Magnolia. Didn't feel like okay. When that first song was blowing up, I couldn't stand it, and then I think I heard Flatbed Freestyle,
the national anthem.
and on his song with Uzi, the Shooter, I heard those songs. I was like, well, I have clearly misunderstood this and all his music and what's going on here, and now I'm a stan. Like,
yeah,
I got Playboy Cardi leaks on the computer.
Yeah,
That's so
What
funny.
about you, Levi? Do you have a guy like that?
I don't know. I think I've had music that I maybe like struggled to understand at first, but that I started to like. A lot of that is like noise music for me, like ambient music, like experimental stuff. Like I wanted to like it so bad, so I just like immersed myself in it, and I came out the other end, and I was like, okay, this shit is dope.
You just forced yourself into liking it?
Pretty much. There's this guys. He's I can't remember his real name. He goes by Nocturnal Emissions though. And he makes these like crazy noise tapes that I got super into when I was in like 11th grade, I think, in high school. And that took me a while, but I found it. I understand it now. It's really cool.
Noise tapes. What is that exactly?
Like, man, to unpack what noise music is on a podcast is a wild mission.
Is it like ambient stuff?
It's basically
Like
just like
ambient
music
noises?
it's like instrumental music that doesn't really have any like tempo or rhythm at all. It's like ambient, like pads and stuff. Some people will like it'll be straight up like distortion, just like harsh noise.
Is that how you would describe Years of Losing Yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
didn't mean to cut you off there. Sorry.
That was the goal of that project. It was like a bunch of different recordings over like the course of like 4 years that I just put together as like one thing, made it sound all weird. I just love noise music.
That's dope.
So something that I wanted to ask, you, Levi, but I guess you, Andrew, as well. Like it's been pretty clear to me, like you've been putting out music for so long that clearly you're passionate about it and you're taking it seriously. It doesn't seem to just be something that's like a side project, you know? And something we love about the show is we always try and we want to interview people that don't just like to do music, but it's like music is the thing. It's like music is like going to be my career type of thing. And so I was just curious, like what is what's the dream for you, and what do you feel like is what journey are you on right now, and like what path are you trying to follow to feel like to kind of make it there? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think a lot of it right now is just like taking risks to get everything started up, because like me and Channel were having a conversation not too long ago where we basically came to the conclusion it's like, yeah, like music is it, like this is what like we have to do this, like this is the only thing that we can do. You know, so right now it's about like just taking these risks, and like Channel came through to Oklahoma from Atlanta like in the midst of COVID, you know, to like he's my manager, like we're trying to get like stuff done this week, and you know, taking risks. Like I dropped out of college, Channel just graduated college, you know, and all these other parts of all these other facets of life have just kind of like let us down. So it's like, man, like music is the one, like this is what we need to pursue. So I think we're just trying to lay low, play our cards right, get everything lined up, and get famous. Get large.
Let's go.
Get a bunch of bags with money signs on them.
I'm right there with Levi. It's kind of like ran out of options and stuff, and it's like all these other things I thought I could do. I tried them and didn't work out. So it's music or nothing, and that sounds like the Nerf or nothing kid right there. It's Nerf or nothing. No, it's like if I'm not doing music, whether that's on the business end or the creative end, if I'm just not involved, it's like I genuinely don't know what I'm doing with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Matt and I can both relate in different ways. But like there's that corny quote. I think it's like a Jim Carrey quote. It's kind of corny, but it's true, where he's like, you can fail doing what you don't love, so you might as well try doing what you love.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, no, I think Matt and I are in the same boat. Like I don't make music, but like when it comes to podcasting and like just making content online, it's like if I'm not doing it, it actually like physically just eats away at me.
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys are probably in the same boat.
That's one of those wild things where like sometimes like I'll have like an off week and my week will just gradually start like going really, really downhill. And I'm like, what's going on right now? Like nothing bad is happening. And then I realize like I haven't made music in like 3 days. That's why like I haven't worked on anything. Like it becomes like a part of you, like an extension of yourself. So to not make it priority number one is just like stupid. You know, like I don't care about anything else at this point. Like I've exhausted all plan Bs.
Yeah.
I'm ready for music.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and it's super cool that you guys are both kind of on the same page the way that like Matt and I are, because I feel like you need to have like a group that's like all in as much as everyone else is all in, because sometimes you try and create like a group like a Camp Sova, you try and create like a group of people that are all into what you're doing, but then quickly you realize that 3 of the people are dedicated and the other 7 like don't really give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
100%.
not good.
And like I've been through like iterations of that. Channel's been through iterations of that.
Yeah.
But this is like one of those ones like I know like I've met all these guys like in real life. Like we had a connection like it.
Everyone is committed. Like on the business end, they're committed. On the creative end, everyone's committed. And like everyone has that same mentality. It's like this is it. This is like what we're doing. This is our option. The only option. So it's nice to like fully have that like stable foundation like locked in before anything's built.
Since we have both of you guys here, I really wanted to ask, like I know it was earlier in the year, but what was it like working on the Hinson 62 EP? And like how is that different than when you guys do your solo stuff?
I don't know. You talk.
Okay, the Hinson 62 was made because we were doing stuff for TMTM, because it started like late July, I think, last year. We had wrapped up our stuff for TMTM, and we're working on other stuff, and I think I jokingly tweeted I hadn't jokingly at the time. I had some other collab projects that I was working on, never came out, but I was like, I have 3 collab projects this year, and Levi retweeted, was like, make it 4. And then it was like,
Forgot about that.
that's when it was like spoken into existence. But once we like formally started working on the album, it was just like, Levi, here's a beat, and then like 2 hours later, Levi would send me a demo, and it's like, that's great. And I think we made about 9 or 10 of them that were cut down into the final 6. But it was just me sending him stuff, which is how we normally work. Like if he's on my stuff, I'm like, hey, here you go. He send, it's just words are hard right now.
It's a crazy process, man. Like really what the basis of it is like Channel will text me a beat. I will drag it into Logic, rap on it, mix and master the whole thing, and then send it to him like several hours later.
Yeah.
He'll send me the
stems. You guys really
back.
Crank out the projects like really quickly.
Yeah, dude. Like I have no time to waste. Like I dropped out of college. I'm making minimum wage. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Like let me make like 7 albums. Yeah. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah.
But Hinson 62 specifically was so cool because it was like it turned into this weird like very surreal rap album.
It was just surreal, and like everything. I think I had envisioned it and just not like sounding more like TMTM, and it grew into like the weirder beats, the weirder chops.
It became very like sensitive. Like we have this like ongoing joke now that like Hinson 62 is like mental health bars only.
Oh, okay.
Like that's really like it's like either like talking shit or like being sad. Like but the whole thing is like mental health stuff. You know? So that's what I'm trying to push. Like we have another one that we just wrapped up. And I think
2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, and it's so good.
Yeah,
man. It's so good.
You guys haven't released that yet?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't like the follow up to Hinson 62 on the way. It's done now.
So when you guys said just a minute ago that project was surreal, like in what way? Why do you feel like it was so surreal, and why do you feel like it came out as like this mental health project almost?
I think like, you know, it was surreal and like oh shit, this is actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least on my end, it was like because Levi was the first Levi was the second rapper I ever worked with on beats, but like the first one who we were like, oh, we can actually work together. And then I think surreal in terms of like the production, almost like just abstract, weird sounding.
It's so strange and just spacey.
Like when I was making those beats, I was in this weird headspace. Not bad, like just a different, weirder headspace, and so stranger things were coming out.
It's just it was one of those projects that it was like too good to be true. It's like, yo, like we did it. Like, and it came together in such a cool way. Like there's such a clear story to me, and like the cover is like a FaceTime screenshot, you know, like that I like edited the shit out of. Like it's just, it feels like a very timely and very personally significant album to me. But the next one is nuts.
Oh,
it's
the next
nuts.
one's even better.
Crazy.
So good.
That's super interesting to me what you just said about how, like, when you were in a mental headspace, like since you were in this certain headspace when you made the project, it came out with a certain sound that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have had if you weren't in that certain headspace.
Yeah.
Mine, like that was true for that album. My next album, which is on the way, I was in like a very bad headspace. So I made music that reflected that, but that sound like would not have come out if I wasn't in that headspace. And I know because with the music I'm making now, none of it's sounding like that.
And on my end, like the beats that Channel would send me, like it's almost like they tell you what to say. Like when I hear them, it's man, like I know exactly what I want to talk about on this. Like I have like, you know, it all came so quick. Like I think we made the whole album like maybe in like 2 months.
At pushing it. Like
it was probably way less.
Like a month and a half.
Yeah, but like it all just came together so fast, and it felt too good to be true. Like it was supposed to happen. Yeah, one of those things.
That's crazy. That just gave me goosebumps. That you hear a beat and you just know like what you gotta say.
It's like, all right, like let's go. You know, it puts me in a certain mood. Like Channel just has a way of like tapping into that, like into a very specific feeling. You know, it's like you can't like name the feeling, but it hits you right there.
And you guys are kind of connected on that certain wavelength where like you guys can read each other.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Like there's like 100% creative trust at all times.
That's awesome. Well, what's crazy to me is like you were saying how when you were in that dark headspace, you came out with like a certain sound. And it's crazy because it makes me wonder, like there's so many artists, especially music artists, that are like fucked up in the head mentally, like depressed or just like super like anxious or whatever. And I wonder just like how much art wouldn't get made if these people were healthy and happy. And like of course you want people to be happy, but in another sense, like a lot of this art might not have been made if they were.
That's another thing about Hinson 62 that's kind of surreal. I feel like the music that we make kind of explores like that like weird duality that it's like, oh, like you kind of need that pain. Yeah. Like if you want to get somewhere good, you know what I mean? It's a strange duality that we've kind of tapped into.
For sure.
Fuck, I forgot what we were talking about. I'm kind of baked. I'm kind of baked, man.
No, you're good. Andrew, this is super random, but I just realized, like, right as you were just talking, that your voice sounds exactly like David Blaine. And, like, it might just be because it's the Zoom call and you're and I hear you through a laptop.
I can kind of see that.
So, like, listen, this is my first time like hearing
Yeah.
you, so maybe I'm wrong.
This is
But I just
wild.
listened to an interview with David Blaine, and you
If
sound
you
like
could see
David
the face
Blaine.
Elijah just made. He was like, so
Is it on point? Word.
Elijah looks
If
terrified.
you talked
crazy.
way more mellow,
We were just talking the other night about how our friend Grayson sounds exactly like 40.
He
Drake's
does.
Drake's producer from OVO. Oh my
Yeah.
god, man!
Exact
It was
same.
uncanny. Like they said, it's because they're both Canadian. That's it.
Yeah.
Canadians.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe everyone will start thinking you sound like David Blaine now. I don't know.
That is
I can't unhear it.
I've never heard that. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
You guys. So we were talking about the project that you guys put out. Was that 2019 or was it this year?
so that was early this year.
Okay.
March
yeah, that was
this year, right?
Which feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2019.
Which
but
yeah, feels like 2019.
I know, dude. All the year, everything's blending together.
Feels
at
like
this point.
2018.
for real.
Yeah. So what's kind of been your guys' process, for the albums that are yet to come out? What are they? Can you tease them? Like, what are they going to be called? And like, what was kind of the intention and the vibe going into the upcoming projects?
So, like our joint projects or our separate projects or all of them?
I don't know. Let's do all of them.
What's
Oh.
coming
Yeah.
soon?
What's the most recent thing or the next thing that's going to come out?
My album will be next. I know in terms of Levi.
Or I think I may.
You might beat me?
I might beat you.
That's crazy.
We're thinking about there's this other like fifth one that kind of came into the picture
That's- yeah,
recently
his
that's
album.
like probably gonna happen really soon.
That's right. You might beat me to my album.
Yeah, but talk about yours because yours is way cooler.
I mean, it's a new album. It's different because I'm rapping on it. Matt and I were talking about that earlier. But yeah, it's just.
Is this your first time rapping?
No.
On a project?
No. So what Matt and I were talking about just a second ago was like I started out being like a joke shitty rapper in high school. I was basically doing what Ugly God was doing before everyone realized Ugly God was doing it. And,
Okay.
I forgot about Ugly God. That's crazy,
right? Everyone forgot about Ugly God.
Man.
But
Is
I
he
was,
still popular?
no, this was before he was popular. When I was not,
Okay.
right now, he's not popular anymore. He had like his moment. But
That sucks, man.
I know, right? I loved Ugly God.
That really sucks.
But yeah, so I started out rapping, making dumb music for the sole purpose of learning how to do everything. Like it was fun. It was fun for my friends at school, all that. But it was like I just want to learn how to do this. And then I gradually took things more seriously as the years went by, and I was like, I want beats. I don't want to pay people for beats, and I don't want the free beats with the terrible tags in them. So I was like, I'll make my own. And then it got to the point where it was like, I really like this, so I'm just going to stop rapping. And now that was like 2.5 years ago. So now it's back to like, okay, well, I've done this production thing. The next way to challenge myself is like, let's try rapping again.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
that's
see what
fire.
that's
Yeah.
like and like come back to this.
And he fucking succeeded. It's so good. It's like
go.
it's so weird how good it is because it's his first one. I thought it was gonna suck so bad, and it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It
Dude.
kills me when
Well,
you
they-
say that every time.
I just thought it was gonna.
No,
I
you're
just
right.
thought it was gonna suck, and it was awesome. That's all there is to it, man. So good.
I mean, no, that it is surprising because generally someone's first time doing anything, it's probably going to suck.
See, I
So-
already had my really, really shitty like raps back then.
But that's the thing is like this man has been writing this album in his head for like fucking 5
Yeah.
years or something.
This is the thing I've been trying to make since I started like trying to make music.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah.
That's
So
dope. That's
it's-
super dope.
But
Yeah, so-
sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's so interesting how you guys were talking about how you guys can finish a project in or a whole song in a night, but then there's other projects for certain artists where it's like it's something that's been marinating for 5 to 10 years, and it's
Yeah.
a project that has been so long in the making. It's just crazy how different those projects can be, but both be like equally powerful.
For sure, 100%. Because my last album I put out, I made in the day, like around between Christmas and New Year's, and everyone was like, "That's your best album." I was like, I was in no headspace when I made this, but it's like
Yeah.
that's the stuff that like can help get attention, So it's just weird.
Yeah. Do you so like you kind of became a producer for a while before getting back into rapping.
For sure.
Do you ever feel like being a producer, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is for me, I don't make music, but I would feel like as a producer, they often don't get as much credit as like the name of the name artist does. And like, I mean, obviously nowadays producers are getting more and more popular thanks to social media.
Yeah.
But was there part of you that kind of felt like when you're just producing, you're not getting as much credit, or like, at least for me, maybe I'm just an egomaniac, but like I would want people to know, like,
No, for sure.
like this was my shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
But that's the cool thing about Channel is like he does like beat tapes and shit, you know what I mean? And like we'll create like this whole experience and not even have to have any vocals on it.
So like my first 3 albums are all just beats. They're all instrumental. And the way I went about production was like, yeah, I want to produce for other people and that'd be great. But like I had learned, like producers get fucked over a lot. That's like common practice. So, and regardless of whether or not I was producing for other people, I needed people to see what I was doing. So that's why I started playing out like, here are just 7 beats, listen to them. And it's like, this is my music. So yeah, like I guess go back. It's like I was worried about it and I wanted recognition, but there are other ways to get that besides just solely producing for people.
Yeah, definitely. I was just interested because I don't know. I think it is cool that you're releasing like your own projects and kind of expanding, like not just being a producer.
I wanted to quickly ask, since we're talking about like follow-up projects, Levi, is there going to be any sort of like Starseed 2 or like get back into that lane a little bit? Or
I
no?
do have a monster of a project. It's like this thing that I don't understand how it happened. Like
it's part Starseed 2, part years of losing myself to
part just some like other. It's fucking creepy.
Part laughing, crying to.
It's creepy.
It's crazy. It feels like its own living thing.
That man has like merged together all of his existing musical styles.
I don't know when it's gonna come out. After we stop recording, I could play out something. But
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow, I'm excited for that. Levi, do you feel that since your music is so like experimental, or just like you have such a wide range of like sound, I guess, do you feel like, does it ever worry you that it would be hard for you to kind of narrow down like, this is my genre? Or is that almost like, do you not want to have that? Do you want to be the guy where it's just like, I'm so different, each thing is so different?
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. I do whatever I want. It's my music. Y'all can't say shit about it. That's how I feel about like the whole genre thing. Like as much as I agree it's like a useful thing to like classify music. Like man, fuck that. Like I'm just some dude. Like I'll do whatever I want. Maybe I'll make a country album someday. Who knows? I have no plans.
I'd love that.
I have no plans.
No, I think that's awesome. I think that it's like, that's what a true artist would do, is like you make what you want to make and what you feel like is important and beneficial.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the thing is like, it might not be for everybody. I think a good example of like, look at like Kanye or like even like,
exactly
like Sufjan. Kanye or Sufjan, I think, are great examples. Like Sufjan has made like everything from like harsh noise music to like orchestral arrangements to folk albums.
I think, like, oddly enough, Diplo is another example of that, because the man, he put out like a country EDM album like a month or 2 ago. He's part of Major Lazer, and they're doing like pure dance hall music with like artists from the Caribbean all the time. He makes EDM. He does like, he had like his song with Joji off Joji's album doesn't even sound like what you'd expect from Diplo. So he's someone who's like in his own way, like has a finger in like every genre.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's just the only struggle there is just like trying to build up a consistent brand to like present all the different things that you do. You know what I mean? Without you know, breaking your stride, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that I don't know, I can kind of relate to that in terms of like video stuff, and like I always knew I wanted to make like a bunch of different type of content, but when you I started a certain YouTube channel and it had a certain style of videos, and then if you try and post, you know, a totally different style of video, the fan base that you've built doesn't really get it, or they don't care about it, even if it's like the best thing you've ever made.
Tell me about it. It's crazy. It's really about like, that was the challenge for me, and it still is, like with CHH, like coming up in Christian hip hop, like these people are like not exposed to like a too wide variety of like other music. Not that that's like a bad, it's just like, man, like that's what they listen to, which is cool.
Yeah.
But whenever I drop like a 30-minute noise song or like a minute long like rap song, like over like a weird like sample loop, like those people don't appreciate that. And it's not for them. Like, but it's just trying to figure out who it is for. And seeing if the people that it isn't for can still appreciate it.
Well, and I feel like the hardest thing is like knowing that there is an audience for what you're making, but just trying to get it in front of these people who you know will like it.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's insane. We've been doing like channels on the business end of the whole Sova thing. Like we've been trying to do like ads for the singles that I've been putting out and stuff like that, like running stuff on Instagram. And it's been so nuts, like seeing the metrics, like seeing how all of that stuff works. Like just trying to grab people's attention is so difficult.
Yeah.
Where we're at right now with like social media and shit. It's crazy.
It's annoying how like now finding fans is so driven by like an algorithm that you have to like game the algorithm all the time. It's like for artists when we post stuff, if you like the post, that helps. If you comment on it, that helps. If you save the post, that helps. If you, I think you send it in group DMs or something like that.
It's like,
it all helps,
supposedly saving is the most appreciated engagement at this point now. So I've been trying to get people to save shit, but no one does.
It's like, you know, like on top of already having to find the right audience for your stuff, you have to make the right audience consistently acknowledge what you're doing.
You can't even reach your own audience that already decided to follow you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like it's wild.
So
like
fucked.
the shit is against you, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, the platforms are literally built for the people that already have hundreds of thousands of followers.
And if you
like
don't, they want you to pay to get there.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's the thing is it was built as a social platform, not as a marketing tool. So they treat it only as a social platform and don't consider the people who do use it as a marketing tool. I feel like to a degree.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, have you seen success in doing like the paid advertising so far, or has it not?
It's worked in what we've been doing so far, not as much as we expected, but it's shown progress, and it's been proven like in all these like case studies that like, yeah, it works. Artists will talk about their experiences. I've read like label reports on it. So it works. It just helps if you have the budget to do it.
Yeah.
And if you're working on a tiny budget, it gets hard.
That's the thing is like coming to realize like that's one of the biggest risks I think we're taking with Sova is like investing personal money into like man, I cannot tell you how shitty I feel when I like invest $100 into an ad. It is the worst feeling on the planet.
And if it doesn't do well,
that's another thing.
Yeah.
But even like literally just like making that payment is like, fuck, dude. Like I'm literally paying someone to show other people my shit.
Like that 100.
It's so frustrating.
And when money's tight, like
yeah,
for me, like that.
But that's the risk though. Is like you have to spend to make.
It's not a risk unless you actually like do things that like this could fail and I will actually be very negatively affected by that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And Matt and I both have been going through the exact same shit. And I think that it's really shown us, at least, since we've done paid advertising on, YouTube and Instagram and stuff, it's shown you how much better it is to try and grow organic engagement with like new platforms. Like you saw Arizona Zervis when TikTok blew up on TikTok, that just changed his whole life in like a week. And so I don't know, that's why like I really got on the trend of like hopping on any sort of new social media trend, even if I think it's stupid, just because like I'd rather get engagements and see that maybe something will take off, That's like that's the tough thing about being like I'm an asshole artist. Like when it comes to my taste, I think like I don't know. I think there's maybe like a difference between like, like you're on the videographer end of stuff. Like I'm on like this is like the sound that I like. And these are the things that like cater to me. So it's like when some fucking like TikTok dance shit like comes across my feed, I'm like, man, like shut the fuck up. Like I don't care about this. Like you're not doing anything that matters. Yeah.
So it's like hard for me to like hop on that stuff when I'm so like artistically against it. That's like one of those things. It's like, man, I hate that my taste maybe limits me from putting myself in those kind of situations more. But it's like, man, like I gotta do it my way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like
that's
you have like
integrity.
Yeah, your
100%.
artistic integrity of like, what am I willing to do to like grow this? And if it it's like, I guess it depends on the person and what they're willing to
sure.
compromise.
It's like if y'all ever see me stealing like a pizza from Little Caesars on camera, like cancel me. Like I'm taking the wrong approach.
I mean, I think it's just a very personal process in terms of it. And, you know, for me, it's always been important to for my music, it's like the right people will come. And they did. Like the right people were like, what's going on here? This is weird. I'll pay attention to that. But, you know, for some people, it's completely fine. Like I'm making the song that will like go crazy on TikTok and like intentionally think that. That's okay. It's just because if we're not doing this the way we want to do it, there's no reason to do it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're going to kind of wrap it up here for the sake of time. You know, we both have different things going on. But, guys, I just want to thank you for coming on the show and talking about, you know, all the projects you've worked on in the past and are working on for the future.
Absolutely.
We're really excited to listen to them. And
Yeah.
it's just fun talking with people that are kind of grinding for the same type of goal as you are, you know? So
Always.
it's motivating.
No doubt. We appreciate y'all, man, for real.
So before we wrap it up, when is the next thing coming out for each of you, and where can the people find your music? Where can they follow you? Like, where can they just kind of follow your journey?
Bet.
I have one dropping in 6 days.
Okay.
Okay.
But when this episode's coming out on Monday, so it'll be in just a few days from now.
Yes. Oh, well, then I'm gonna just say it. My new single "Baby Blue" comes out this Friday on all platforms.
Produced by A. Young Jordan.
Produced by A. Young
Oh,
Jordan.
okay.
It's a Dat Piff banger.
It's
It's
for
fucking
Oh.
amazing.
if you call Imperfect
A. Young
Colors,
Jordan's
you will
dope.
know the song.
Yeah. But you can follow me everywhere at I am Levi Hinson. Hinson is Hinson. Tap in.
Yeah, and they can just search Levi Hinson.
I'm the
on
first
any
result on
streaming
Google.
platform.
I have an artist page, bro. Go just
Levi Hinson everywhere.
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You can find my music under Channel 62 on anything, including the platform Audius. That on there, if you are on Audius, you can find it there too. But anywhere you stream music, you can find Channel 62. I have a single coming out at the end of the month with this guy right here, and I'll say that on that. And
Hey.
more soon on that note. But yeah, you
Follow Camp Sova.
you can follow me
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the Channel 62 on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow Camp Sova at Camp Sova on Twitter and Instagram to keep up with
Do it.
everything we're doing. We have a mailing list at campsova.com if you really
Okay.
want to be in the know.
Sweet.
We got
It's
seven.
camp, and then
We have
it's
7 people
SOVA,
looking for
right?
more
Yes,
applicants.
SOVA, campsova.com.
Yeah, man. You guys can follow me at Hey Narwhal on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Matt?
You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Matt Mogg.
Yup. Matt just dropped a single a couple days ago. Go stream Matt's single 20.
I'm going to listen
And
after this.
yeah,
20.
thank you guys
Yo.
again. You know, we got to have you on again sometime. Maybe in like, you know, a couple months from now when some of the projects have dropped and when we got a little more time,
Yes,
we
sir.
can
A
dive
few
into them a
months
little
from now,
more.
I think we'll have 4 projects out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Be a lot
All right,
to talk
for
about.
sure.
Alright.
There'll be a lot to talk about.
It'll be great.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.